Well, you can probably do the YMCA, maybe you can Vogue, or perhaps you've been taught how to Dougie, but do you know how to dance a sarabande or minuet? Regularly here on Winnipeg's Classic 107, I'll introduce a piece of music meant to accompany a dance, but admittedly don't know what those dances look like or how to dance them. Well, this weekend, the Winnipeg Early Music Society's Baroque dance workshop will transport you back to the court of Louis XIV and show you how to bourrer, minuet, and more. To tell us about it, I'm joined by Adrienne Hyde-Sawatsky. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Classic 107.
Thank you.
So before we get chatting about this particular workshop, I'd like to begin by asking you about the Winnipeg Early Music Society. Can you tell us a little bit about the group?
Well, it's been they've been really gracious to host us this Saturday. They put on this whole event. It's led by Jocelyne Lépine. She comes from Quebec. And so, yeah, we're just really happy to have them support us and promote Baroque dance.
Ain't that the truth? So early music itself, a little bit of a catch-all term, right? It goes to the medieval, the Renaissance, and Baroque periods. How did you get involved with this project?
I got involved with Jocelyne Lépine. She is an expert Baroque dancer, and she just one day we kind of met through a mutual friend, and it took off. And she was really good at explaining the dance moves, explaining the reason for the proper poise and stuff like that. And it's a very light and dainty dance style that comes from the Baroque era. So we just kind of hit it off, and
then here we are.
Yeah.
So for you, do you come from a musical background, a dance background, both?
I initially started with a musical background. I started off as a musician, and later into my 20s, I kind of started pursuing and enjoying dance because of how it correlates with music, of course. And so, any kind of dance opportunities such as Baroque dancing, I kind of just thrived with it, and it's been so much fun. And it's always a pleasure to share it with others too.
So when I think Baroque dance, admittedly, I kind of think of A Knight's Tale, like the Heath Ledger film, when they get together and dance. It's very elegant, very refined sort of style. Am I right thinking of that when thinking of Baroque dance?
You could, yeah. It's very similar to, I guess, like the Renaissance era, sort of. Yes, it's very, very elegant, very symmetrical. A lot of the focus is on the symmetry of the dance. So in the Baroque era, there was kind of two main types of dance settings, such as like a social dance or court dances and theatrical dances, which would be in like court ballets and public theater or operas and stuff. And a lot of Baroque dance focused on two people dancing, so like a danse
partner
à deux.
dancing,
Partner dancing. And so, there was a lot of coordination between the two dancers, a lot of mirrored symmetry as well. So if you pay attention to the footwork or the arm movements, and even the choreographed path that they follow, it's all very, very mirrored, very symmetrical, yet very light and refreshing in a way. An interesting side note on that actually is that if you pay attention to the 17th century like Baroque style, you might notice that the female dancers, they had shorter dresses, and that was to kind of accommodate and actually really show off the footwork. So you might think of that era, you might think, oh, these dancers are, they're going to have those longer foot length ball gowns. They still had the bigger, kind of fluffier ball gowns, and they're very beautiful, but the interesting tidbit was they started to shorten the dresses just to primarily show to
accommodate that footwork. And to show what they were doing. Is it a particularly like athletic style of dance? Like, would you call it athletic, or is it more just kind of intricate? Not that athletics can't be intricate, but that kind of an idea.
That's a good question. Yes and no. Like, yes, I would say to an extent it is very athletic. You have to learn to hold your arms up for long periods of time and like do that arm movement. So if you're not used to having your arms up, that can get kind of tiring. And then they incorporate a lot of, so Baroque dance was kind of the precursor to classical ballet as we know today. So a lot of things like pliés are involved and jumps or like sautes. So if you're not used to jumping and pliéing every day, It can be
something different.
it can be a bit of a workout. So
yeah, I mean, one of the things that always comes up in dance, and I used to Ukrainian dance for years, which is folk dance, so a little bit different than this kind of court dance that we're talking about. But it is very pair driven, and it's very much in terms of poise and how you carry yourself. So I'm just thinking of people who are participating in the program, the workshop that is taking place this weekend. There is an athleticism involved, but you can kind of go through the motions if you're not a regular dancer as well, right?
absolutely, yes. And for this workshop specifically, we will be focusing. We will have two different types of levels. So we'll be accommodating beginners. You can just learn the basic footwork. For something as common as a bourrée, you'll learn the pas de bourrée, which is the bourrée step. And for a minuet, like you'd learn the pas de minuet, which is a minuet step, of course. And we'll take it slow.
Yeah, of
you
course.
know, you definitely learn the footwork first, maybe not incorporate the arm movement yet. Practice on the proper poise and whatnot. And so, but yes, definitely it's a good beginner class this Saturday, and even for advanced, if people have danced Baroque dance before, or they have a history in dance, they're more than welcome to come out and check it out as well, because we will have more advanced choreography for them.
So you mentioned a couple of those dances, and very often, as I mentioned in the introduction, when I'm introducing a piece of music, especially of the Baroque era, we reference a couple of those dances. We say like, oh, here's a bourrée or a minuet or a jig. Can you break down a couple of those for us? Like, what, from a dance perspective, what do they look like, or how do they feel? Are they active dances? I mean, my music history class at the Faculty of Music is coming back now, and sarabande is slow and stately, and all these kind of things. Can you break down just a couple of them, maybe two contrasting dances?
So in a minuet or a bourrée, you might have the 1 2 3 1 2 3, right? And that's very, very pertinent for your footwork. So you're going to be having kind of on the 3, you might do a plie, and then your steps are the 1 2 3. Whereas there might also be like 6 steps in a piece, and all that kind of relates to how you dance it. So depending on the speed of the piece, depending on the style of it, it all really kind of correlates to what kind of dance moves you do. And
the meter as well, like when you're breaking down how many beats are in the bar, really kind of determine how many steps you can accommodate, and the motion that comes with it. So if you're just tuning in, I'm chatting with Adrienne Hyde-Sawatsky about the upcoming Winnipeg Early Music Society Baroque Dance Workshop, a workshop led by Jocelyn Lepine. Has she been in Winnipeg before?
She has. She used to live here for a little bit. She was teaching at the École Taché. She was teaching music there, but she moved back to Quebec a few years ago, and we're lucky to have her back for this workshop. So
it's a full day workshop that's taking place on Saturday.
It is a full day, yes.
Tell us a little bit more about what people can expect. Do they need to bring a partner? Do they need to bring some fancy shoes? Maybe their Renaissance ball gown? Any of that stuff?
If you have a Renaissance ball gown, by all means, you can bring that. That'd be awesome. You can expect, so the day starts from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We will have, you can expect, you don't have to bring a partner. You can come by yourself. You can have dance experience. You can have no dance experience. You can just be totally interested in checking it out, seeing what it's all about. And like I said before, there will be basic choreography for beginners. So just like learning out straight off the street. And then we will have more advanced choreography if you came to the workshop last year, or if you, like I said, have dance history. We will be having a live costumed demonstration at the end. So if you kind of just want to come for that demonstration and see what it's about, there will be 2 female dancers, and they'll be demonstrating.
And of course,
some of
a live musical accompaniment as well by the
Absolutely,
Winnipeg
yes.
Early Music Society.
Yes,
So you really get the full experience. It's like we're going back to the Renaissance court dances. I mean, this particular court being held at École Taché this time round. Adrienne, I want to thank you so much for coming in this morning. It's been a pleasure having you here at Classic 107 talking about the Baroque dance workshop that's going on this weekend.
Thanks so much for having me.
A pleasure. Adrienne Hyde-Sawatsky of the Winnipeg Early Music Society telling us about the Baroque dance workshop. That's this Saturday, led by Jocelyn Lepine. February 15th, École Taché, 744 Langevin. And one more thing.
I just want to add that the cost is $50.
Yes, indeed.
And you should bring a lunch.
Bring a lunch.
Yeah.
Very important because you're going to be dancing. You're going to be moving and you're going to be working up an appetite.
Absolutely.
You can, of course, find more information at winnipegearlymusic.com or classic107.com.